What's up, Goonies? What's up, Otter Squad? Project of the month number 3 is upon us. May just began. I've already announced the project over on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram and you're not following me there, go over to Instagram, Autograph Bushcraft, just like it is here. But for the YouTube people, I apologize. I'm a day late, $1 short. I'm getting better at it, so bear with me. Project of the month number 3 is a fun one. It's already got a lot of excitement building. I'm super excited to announce it. I'm very excited for this project. Project of the month number 3, melee implements. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, what is a melee implement? It is a handheld sort of object that is used to fight the horde. It is used in combatives, used in ornamental practices, and they have been varied and widely used historically throughout every civilization that has ever been and will ever be. Some of these are very deeply associated with the peoples that created them. And so it's very cool practice to do to identify maybe with your own heritage, your own culture and lineage. You can look at the historically and see like what did the people from where you come from, what did they use, right, as these sorts of devices for hunting, for warfare, for all these sorts of things. So it gets into a very cool cultural landscape because then we get into what was available to them in their bioregion. Were they using bone for these implements? Were they using obsidian for these implements? Were they using specific woods for these implements? A combination of these things. Were there teeth involved, animal teeth? Were there any sort of primitive metallurgy or maybe advanced metallurgy as times went on to where they could incorporate different materials and different form factors to accomplish building these sorts of tools? I find this very fascinating because I love history. I love things like Sun Tzu. I love warfare in a studied approach, right? I find it very intriguing. The imagination could lend itself so readily to these things like a trebuchet. But what I find fascinating is just when it comes down to hand-to-hand, arm's length sort of combative, what they found that was very useful and devastating to a point. And then even still handheld, but at a range weapon, such as the spear, such as the naginata in Japan, the long spear with a huge blade at the end. These sorts of implements, they were all melee weapons, right? So it's either range or very close countered. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily edged weapons such as swords or anything like this. I'm speaking more kind of blunt force trauma. So when we're talking about these things, and I want to kind of get your imaginations going, we're thinking about clubs and maces, various sorts of bats and batons, spiked bats, these sorts of things. Mace with a captive ball at the end. A tonfa, billy batons, nightsticks, these sorts of things. Like the shillelagh, things like the patu from New Zealand. War clubs, a mixture of frontiersmen and pioneersmen in North America mixed with the indigenous tribes and nations here. And even if you wanted to get into leather, which is a natural material, the sap and the blackjack are excellent tools to use. Look up melee and look up sort of things that you might be able to build quite readily within this month time frame and be able to present at any time during this month. So when we're submitting our projects, feel free to tag me, to collaborate with me, however you choose to do that. And I'll do my best to echo that and put that out for people to see as well. The point that I'm trying to drive home is that these are skills that are important to us. They've been important to us historically, and we should keep these traditions alive and well and keep our skills sharp and polished. But this one seems to have gotten a lot of people excited. Everybody likes some sort of combatives. We like action, we like adventure. So let's get on with it. Let's learn about some history. Again, with some of these challenges, they are meant to be as much natural material as possible. But again, not all of us live in that place where we can just go out into nature and just kind of get a bit of wood or get some bone or get some teeth or whatever it may be. So feel free to use what's in your environment. If you're in the urban landscape, feel free to adapt and overcome. But the point is not to just be Amazon buying things and to put this thing together with hot glue. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to try to learn how to facilitate and learn our environment and learn how to make these things. And that's at the heart of bushcraft. So I don't want to dismiss that. Just because we can use some modern materials, it doesn't mean I just want everything to be super glued. I think it defeats the point. It's still a good exercise is still a good thought exercise in MacGyverism, but I want to try to keep things as natural, as eco-friendly as humanly possible. So if you're excited, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, share this with people as much as you can. Let's get the word out, and let's try to include as many people as possible. This is family friendly, all of these things. So if you have some neighbors, if you have some buddies, if you have kids who are of age and responsible enough to use said tools, knives, rasps, files, all these basic hand tools, let's get in there and see what we can do. Goonies never say die, OTTR for life. Appreciate you guys. We'll be checking in with each other soon. Take care.